Last week, the sports world lost a legend who had been living here in Houston when he passed away. Stephen, when we were kids, the Harlem Globetrotters were always something you look forward to on TV, and Curly Neal was my personal favorite of those guys. And if you're too young to remember, I posted a video of the Globetrotters from the old Wide World of Sports days with Howard Cosell on the call. Go take a quick look at his incredible dribbling and Steph Curry-like shooting range. I mean, it's just wonderful to see that old stuff from 1978. Stephen, just sad to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, it is. And, Curly Neal was with the Globetrotters at a time when the Globetrotters were still trying to find their identity and make a name for themselves. And he played with them for 22 seasons. I always thought his nickname was interesting because it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference, from the coach at the time, Bobby Milton, who gave it to him. It was kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference to his signature shaved head. And he was, of course, was named after Curly of the Three Stooges. And the nickname and the hairstyle stuck. So, yeah, quite a interesting player. And the Globetrotters were, as I said, kind of finding their identity. But Curly Neal, he was one of the players that really helped them gain the name recognition that they certainly have now.
22 years with the Globetrotters from 63 to 85. He played in over 6,000 games, 97 different countries. And Stephen, I'm pretty sure he was undefeated in all those games.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, even the UCLA Bruins couldn't match, what the Globetrotters did as far as being undefeated. And, they were even featured, he was one of them. They were featured on Gilligan's Island. If some of you may remember the old show Gilligan's Island from the 60s and 70s, where the Globetrotters were playing a team of robots. And I think the final score was like a close game. It was a 101 to 100. The Globetrotters beat them. So it was, so they were even interested not only on ABC Wild World of Sports, but they were featured on some other TV shows, including Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, back in the day, they were everywhere. They were on the Love Boat, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo was another one, right.
The White Shadow. There was even an animated Globetrotters cartoon in the 70s where Curly provided his own voice to that. And let's hear from him. He was Fred Neal, known as Curly Neal. I want to hear from him about how he became a Globetrotter when he graduated from Johnson City Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's listen to a conversation that I found on YouTube that's pretty interesting.
I was drafted, by 4 other NBA teams: the New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons, the Baltimore Bullets, and the St. Louis Hawks, and the fabulous Globetrotters. But as an NBA player, you had to pay your own way. Free agency, you had to pay your plane fare back and forth to camp. So the Globetrotters, Abe Saperstein, which was the owner, originator of the team, and he invited me to camp in Chicago, Illinois, at DePaul University. Stan, 125 guys from all over the United States, trying out for 5 positions.
And you made it.
As basketball players, I made it. I was one of the lucky 5, and the rest is history.
Now, why do you think you stayed doing that? I mean, the money back then wasn't as great in the NBA back 45 years ago.
Well, determination, dedication. I always wanted to be a professional basketball player, no matter who I played for, So I was a basketball player first. And then the learning of the hoopla, the spinning the ball on your finger, I had to learn that from my teammates. Wilt, Meadowlark Lemon, Geese Osby, the guys that played with me during those times.
And Stephen, he mentioned this guy named Wilt Chamberlain. And in case you're wondering who he was talking about, that's who. He was a Globetrotter. Wilt Chamberlain was a Globetrotter.
That's right. What's interesting about Curly Neal is he did have offers to play in the NBA, but he was more interested in playing for the Globetrotters. And you think about that nowadays, most players, I would say, probably want to play in the NBA, they're first and foremost. But Curly Neal, he could have played in the NBA, but he decided the Globetrotters were a better fit and a bigger appeal to him. So that's where he went.
You're listening to Houston Sports Talk.